it's Karen from Liongate Farm, and I'm going to have you join me today while we make this very cute fairy flower house. And there's a kit for it. You guys all want kits? I got kits. They are coming to the website soon. Hello, everyone. So today we are going to make the fairy house. I caved in, and I'm going to take the time and show you how to make this cool fairy house. But the good news is there will be a kit for the fairy house. I have been building kits. They're kind of like made to order right now. They will mostly be the colors of the house that we build today. So if you want different color petals, you're going to have to tell me when you order the kit. It's not live yet. It's not quite live yet, but it'll go along with the video and you'll be able to build this cute little fairy house. Ours is a little bit shorter that we're going to build. So let's get started and I'll show you what you need. So pool noodle, you know how much I love these pool noodles. I made Cannon stop and get some on the way. And then we have various colors. All these different colors go in to this fairy house. So we have buttercup for the petals. This is called light. It's the light in the windows. Black for our details. Dark brown for the door. This green is an accent to the roof color. The peach is an accent to your petals. This pink is the eaves under the petals. And this cinnamon goes around the windows. And then various, like a random wad of locks for details. Two, I got to remember how long these wires are. You know, they are 13-inch wires, two 13-inch 16-gauge wires, and one 6-inch 18-gauge, and then various tools. I'm not going to lie, this house takes a while, and I will tell you which parts take a long time. A multi-tool with the 7 needles in it is going to go way faster. You'll need your 2 needle, and then my single trusty star needle. If you're cutting any wire, you'll need wire cutters. And that should do it. So we're going to get started. I am not using core wool on this. I'm using Berg chaff because it's a little bit lighter and it gives a nice smooth finish. Okay, so that's what our main house is built out of. So I'm going to put this aside, the colors I'm putting aside. And I'm going to show you how we build this roof because it's kind of interesting. So you're going to take one of your wires. You're going to go through the pool noodle. I know, who would have thunk it, right? The very first time I made this, I did not use wire and it made it way harder. So you got your two wires. They go through pretty easy. You kind of want them even when you bend them up. So kind of guess. And then you're going to twist them at the very tip top. So bring them. And then just twist them up. And then you're going to take your 6-inch wire. And I go through these. And I like using the 18 gauge on the top piece because I know it looks like it's going to be really tall, but once we curl this up, it's not. Is he dreaming? Rip is dreaming down there. Okay, so here's what we have. If you pull on these, they will rip this foam of the pool noodle. So the first thing we're going to do is take a wad. And you can use core wool, scraps, whatever you've got. And you're going to put it inside of these wires. That will keep them from collapsing on themselves too much. And then we're just going to take, this part is fairly simple. So if I say, yes, this is a beginner project, it could be. It's just time consuming and you'll understand that in a minute. Now, if we stab straight in, sounds really cool, doesn't it? It's like stabbing into foam. Well, it'll tack it, but it's not felting it yet. There's about 1.5 ounces of Berg chaff in the kit. And we're going to find out if that's enough. I think it is. This is my first kit build with the ingredients from the kit. I always like to build one. Make sure I give you enough stuff. So we've gone all the way around the foam, and it doesn't have to be super thick, but it does need to be even. So you notice I'm just tacking it. We'll felt it here in a minute. Make sure you're getting it in there to the stuff in the, you know, you want to tack it to the stuff that's in the wires. I'm going to draft it out a little bit, and we're going to go, now don't pull, you know, I always say wrap tight. This is one case where you don't want to wrap tight because you'll collapse your wires. So we just want to get this all in here. And like I said, I'm going to tell you about the parts that take a good long while. And felting this in is one of those. Because I like it felted nice and smooth. So I'm going to go up to the twists in the wire. And you want it to gradually go up because it's our roof. I swear, Cannon, I'm going to Velcro. I'm going to make it so we can Velcro my felting pad to the table. So it doesn't move.
That's a smart idea.
Might have to do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is felt this all smooth. And you're going to find if you are felting sideways, it's going to go faster. Even though this sounds cool, it does nothing. We need the wool to felt to itself. You'll have a little bit of poking that goes into the foam, but you need the wool to go into itself. And not going to lie, it's going to take you about an hour. I know, right? This is not a this is not a quick project. It takes time. But you want to get it nice and smooth. And I'll felt on this for a minute. And then I'm going to go away because I'm not going to make you watch me felt this for an hour. But just make sure that you're nice and smooth and straight. Now, some people like their fairy houses to get wider at the bottom, and you can do that if you want. Down here around the base, you want to make sure that you're nice and level. I don't always felt on the bottom. If I do, it's usually at the end because I want them to stand up nice and square, and I try to cut the pool noodles nice and flat, level. And see, I'm just tacking it into the foam right now. I'm not really, so if I go this way, I'm felting it. If I go this way, I'm tacking. I don't want this to slip down below the noodle. It's kind of like building the leprechaun, guys. It's a similar idea. You know, and if you wanted, we could make gnomes the same way with a pool noodle on the inside. Sure saves on your wool, and then you could do their hat this way. Maybe I'll do that next time. How to turn a fairy house into a gnome. Like a red, white, and blue gnome for 4th of July. Might be kind of fun. Fireworks gnome. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and I am going to felt on this. And I'm going to felt sideways until it gets nice and smooth. So I will come back here as soon as I am done doing that, because it's going to take me probably 40 minutes to an hour to get it to where I like it. So I'll be back in a minute with this all felted and ready for the next step. All right, so I've been felting on this for a long time, and you can see how firm I am. I mean, you're never going to get super firm because it's a pool noodle. So I added a piece. I just added a strip right here around the base of the roof. So the roof ends right there, and I just came right below it. And this does not have to be super firm. This is going to form the base for our petals. And then we're going to add a color under here to make it the eaves of the house. So the first thing you want to do, I like my colors, my base of my house white or cream. The first thing you're going to do is add your door. So I am going to do a different kind of door than I did on the other one. So I like super fairy looking doors. So I'm gonna draw the door. And that went way too high. So think scale when you're doing this. I go up like halfway. Maybe a little higher. Kind of draw your door on there. I want it to be round and go out at the top. So then I'm going to fill it in. This brown that's in these kits is Shetland, and it's a nice wood color brown, a dark wood color brown. And here, I don't care if I'm going into the foam because I'm going into that wool base that we just built on here. Basically, I'm just showing you how to make details. And then we're going to bring this part around. Wow, the postman, Dan the man, was just here and Rip did not notice. That is an amazing thing. Rip doesn't know it, but the postman is going to bring him an automatic ball launcher, and he's going to be very excited. And then he can launch his own balls. You want this to be fairly smoothly felted. And you can see I have all this extra, and I'm just going to fold it back up on the edge into the middle. So in the locks, in the group of locks I give you some greens for vines and some colors for flowers. They kind of look like flowers. So I like the door to be skinnier at the bottom than the top. So it's this little round door. You know, think medieval, think hobbitish. You can see what's starting to happen though as I sculpt in the door. I'm getting a relief here, so it's going to give it some character. So on this door, we need a window. Or not. You know, you have poetic license to make this how you want it. So to make the doorknob, I take just a tiny bit of the yellow color, the light color, and I just stab in my little doorknob. There's a reason we're putting these details in before. So think when you're working on windows and doors like this, you're working back to front. Back to front. So now we have a little doorknob. And now we need a little window. A little window. All right, so, because this is you don't want to make it too big. And I know I have this big piece of stuff. So watch, we're going to go like this. It's a little window. You know how I like to, and I'm going to make it the same shape as the door. And then I'm going to, there's way too much fiber here. I stabbed it the same shape as the door. Don't know if you guys have been watching my Liongate Farm page on Facebook, but I have been putting up garden pictures like mad. The gardens have started to bloom and it's awesome. Peonies are like 3 weeks early. It's really crazy. I don't like the window to be below the doorknob. But remember, this is whimsical, so it can be however you want it. I'm working at getting the shape first, and then I will totally compact it. Work towards the middle of the window to get this clean line. One of the hardest shapes to get in felting is a straight line. If you've ever tried to felt a letter, like you're writing something, you realize that that's like the hardest part, the hardest thing there is to do, to get them to look good. It's okay if this sinks in because it's a window and it should be sunk into the door. All right, so now we need little wood details. So you're going to take your black and you're going to peel off little pieces of fiber. Little. Twist them. And this is where you put in like your wood grain. I always start right here when I have a window because I can go around the window. But I also can make panes in the window. If you use too much fiber in these details, it won't look good. You want as little as possible. You might even switch up to a 42 needle at the end to clean up any kind of stray fibers. We're just going to go like this. This window would be cool if it was round too. I don't want any black fibers in my light color. And then we're going to keep putting in the door details. So just keep an eye as you do this on your fiber. You don't want it to slip past your pool noodle. You want it to stay up here. If you want, you can pre-poke in your door details. So you know where your fibers are going to go. I like to put one up to the doorknob. And I will go around the door, but not quite yet. Some of you may have noticed that we're doing giveaways now. And at the end of this video, I will show you what the first giveaway is going to be. And we're going to do the giveaway at the end of the month. End of every month, we'll do a giveaway. So you got to just enter every time. But I will show you at the end of the video what this month's giveaway is. It's something fun. Okay, now there's a part of our door. So now you have this little cinnamon color, and we're going to tear off a little tiny piece. We're going to make a door jamb. Just follow your door around. You know, you can do fun stuff like twist your fiber here to make it look like it was a tree branch that they twisted around to give you that texture of the twist. I have a little bit too much here, so I'm not gonna tear it off. I'm actually gonna cut it off. I actually like how the details sink into the background because then it gives it some relief looking. It's not just flat. And if you haven't felted the body of your house enough, you will know, because your details will not felt into it. Just like anything else when you're sculpting it. So now's where you decide, okay, do I want one window? Do I want two windows? I really like this window box idea. This door, I did relief. I built it out. So you can do that too. But we're going to make a window, and your window, again, let's draw it on. So we got a window box. That's where one window box is going to be. And let's make a nice arched window a little bit above the door. So that's where one window is going to be. And then let's go on to the other side. Now you want these to be in the same place. And relatively the same size. So you can kind of see they're going to be in the same place. And we will come up to about there. Okay, so same procedure as the door. I'm going to start with the light background. And then I'm going to add the window box in the cinnamon. And then I'll add the black details of the window. And then I'll put the frame around the window. So we're going to use the light in the background. So when you draw it in there, you can stay, it's like coloring in the lines. At least that's how I look at it. And you're more apt to get it in the right place. I don't know if you guys have been following along in our adventures of building a wedding venue, but we had our first summer wedding last Saturday. Adventures is what I'm going to call it. We have a lot to learn. About wedding venues. And people are crazy, I'm just going to say that. Remember, we're working back to front. Ken and Rip is disgusted with us.
Keeps huffing and puffing.
I know. All right, so I'm using the same color we used on the door for the window box. And it's okay if the window box sticks out more than the window because it's a window box. And it's going to have flowers in it. But again, this is where we're trying to get straight lines. Because we want it to look like wood. Get those nice sharp corners. And you can get those again by drawing your window box ahead of time. And then just color it in the lines. So we don't want them straying in our white background. I suppose you could make one of these like castle colored. Now, you can see that my white's going past my pool noodle. And then we're going to take that cinnamon color again, go around our window. But don't go below your window box. So you've just become a fairy house contractor. And we need to have this a little bit correct. Just a little. Again, I'm breaking the cardinal rule and I'm cutting it. And I cut it a little bit past because, you know, as you felt this, it's going to shrink up a little. Again, if you wanted, you could have twisted this to give it the effect of a twisty branch. I would suggest you go out on Google and Google fairy houses and get ideas on designs. This is just how I make them. There are many, 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 many designs. This is a flower fairy house though, and we're gonna make petals. A friend of mine and I have talked about these, trying to figure out, maybe we can make them hollow, and then you could actually like put one of those battery operated candles in them. It might be kind of cool. Like if we could take the pool noodle out when we were done. We're thinking that you would have to wet felt them to do that. It's on the list. Something we want to try. Where's my black? All right, so let's give it some window panes. Now there I used a fair amount of fiber because it's going to sink in. As you can see, it's sinking in. Now I'm going to go around the inside of the window frame. Yeah, I suppose if you wanted, you could have put curtains on the windows before you added this part. Like little red curtains or something. That might be kind of cute. Again, think back to front. The devil's in the details. Heck, you could even do a window blind. I'm not going to make you watch me do the next window. So I'll come back and we will start on the roof. I know you're probably wanting to add all the little details, but we do that last. All right, so I'm not gonna make you watch me do another window because it's just, it'll bore you. So I'll work on my window, you work on your window, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we've got our door, and we have 2 windows with window boxes. Oops, that needs to get poked over a little bit more. And hopefully yours came out more even than mine. This window's a little bit off, but that's okay. That's okay. It will get where it's going. Now, what we're going to do is you are going to take your green roof material. This is stuff that I hand dyed. And you're going to start probably about 1.5 inches down. And we're just gonna cover this wire. So let's just, I'm gonna go all the way up and probably come back. I hope you can see this because I know it's long and I'm working outside the box here. Remember, to wrap, you want to wrap flat. Yeah, I'm probably going to come back because this is pretty skinny. You know, if you want and you don't feel comfortable just wrapping a bare wire, you can always use any kind of tacky wrap or tacky wax that you have to make your wire a little bit more sticky. Now here, oops, I came apart, but here we're going to go to the top and we're going to bend it down about an inch. I want you to bend it down about an inch. That's going to keep the wire from showing up here. And remember, always wrap. I'm going to tear some of this off because I'm getting twisted. Always wrap in the same direction or what you already, now see, I came apart. See, it even happens to me. Let's tack that in. So to start again, I'm going to start down here, go up, because I want this to stay kind of even. It's long, so it's awkward. But I don't want it to get too fat. But down about halfway, you can start getting wider because we want it to gradually get wider down here as it goes into the roof area. Now because I ended, I'm going to go back over it. Go back down. I just knocked something off the table. I don't know what it was. I'll figure it out in a minute. So you can see I'm getting wider down here. I want it to blend into the roof. This is technically the stem of the flower that we're going to put on the roof here in just a second. What did I knock off? Oh, I knocked off some Berkshire. Okay, so now we have our little stem wrapped around. So we're going to set that aside for a minute. Set your little house aside, and you are going to take your buttercup. And we're going to make petals. And in the kit, I have a little sample. This is like a 2-inch piece. And all you're going to do is fold it on top of itself like this. And I am not going to lie, this is the most tedious part of the project, making these petals, our roof shingles. There are 8, you need to make at least 18 of them. So I'm going to show you how to make one because I already made all the rest of mine. So you don't have to sit here and be bored watching me make these. So this is where this 7 needle tool comes in. We're making nice flat petals. And see how this is not totally round. I'm going to fold it under with my needle. I like to use a combination of the multi-tool and my needle. You're going to leave fringe up here on every petal, because that is how we are going to attach them. You want them to be somewhat round at the bottom. So you can vary how you make them if you want them skinnier. I did draw a little pattern for you to follow. I like mine to be about this wide. Now, in the original house I showed you at the beginning, I used the sparkle called The Tale as Old as Time. And it took, because it's a lot of sparkle and not very much merino, it took me forever to make those petals because they don't felt as fast as this Corriedale. As it is, it took me an hour to make 18 petals, and I'm fast. So do not despair if it takes you longer than an hour to make all your petals. But you definitely want to make them all before you put them on. So make at least 18. I'm going to give you a good amount of buttercup wool in here in this kit. think there is like a half an ounce. In each kit. So this is how we make, and then we're gonna, as it gets firmer, you're gonna sculpt. I don't like these to be furry. And I know Cannon hates when things are furry. He likes it to be all smooth. So if you don't want to take the time to felt in the edges, you can always take your scissors and trim all these little furry edges off. I usually take the time to felt them in. I'm just giving you a cheat. So you can see the more I felt it, just like anything, it's going to sculpt and be a nice smooth petal. So then we're going to put them on. So watch magic. I did it this fast. So I have all 18 petals ready to roll. I know, don't you wish yours went that fast? And they're all sculpted and everything. So we added this piece here. I just have this little extra piece of bergschaf around the seam. You want your roof petal, first layer, to come right to there. So you set it on and you attach the fringe. And you can attach the petal, but the fringe is what's going to hold it on. So it's important that these are on kind of even, going around the edge of the roof. Go down the center of the petal, and that will help them flip up like a petal. They're not all going to be exactly the same, I hope. I hope you can see this. I think I'm in the frame. We might have to have Canon check because I moved. So see how this petal comes up a little extra? Let's just angle it that way. Am I in the frame?
Yes.
Okay, good. Our goal here is to make this all the same. So even if they're not the same, it just depends on where you place them. This is the fun part, putting on the roof. And you see how that little piece that we added is making these stick out just enough. Notice I'm not felting in this area because we want them kind of loose. So I said you need 18, depending on the size of the petals and how wide you made your house. 18 is what I came up with. Needing. And then hopefully this one will fit right here. It could vary though. I think that was the one I just did. It wasn't all the way felted. Okay, so then you're just going to come up here. Now don't worry if you have a little space right here because we're going to do something else there. Let's add the second layer just like the first. So while I think making petals is tedious, I love building the roof. It's like putting on shingles. Although if you've ever really put shingle on a roof, it's not fun at all. In my younger years, we removed a roof and that was no fun. Oof. So again, try and make your layers even. just keep felting that fringe and then down the center of the petal. So we're going to see if my number holds up. I think it's going to. Oh, I might have too many. So approximately 18. I have 2 left over. I had 19. So it only took 17. It only took 17 to go around. And next, we are going to finish this top piece. So in the kit is some sparkly stuff. And then you have, should still have some green left. So let's put these 2 aside. And what we're going to build now are some skinny petals. Since I already have them pre-built, I'm going to show them to you. This is this is part of this part. Okay, so I want you to make these first, and same as the yellow ones, except these are longer and skinnier. So same as the yellow ones, you're going to do this. You're going to grab that little piece, just like the yellow ones, but long and skinny. But the difference is you're going to take a little bit of this green sparkle and lay it over the top. Because you know me, I cannot make anything without sparkles in it. And you're just going to felt that back and forth until you have that done. And then we should have 4 of these. Now you're going to set those aside for a moment. And you're going to take the rest of your green sparkle and let's just divide it into some pieces. And we are going to sparkle out our roof, or our stem. I want more green. We just keep going all the way up. Tack it in. How fun is that? So then deciding where you want it to curl, I just wrap it around my finger. So I'm down into the 16 gauge, and then you're going to have it curl up like this. How fun is that? Let's put this away. So now we're going to attach these. But we're going to need more sparkle in a minute. So let's attach these in here. I may need more. I thought I only needed 4, but I might need 5. Let's work this into this. Oh, I think I came down too low. I did. Let's go back up. All right. Go up about 1.5 inches. I was wrong. You should only need 4. I was putting those in the wrong place. They need to just come down over the base just a little bit of the flowers. Nope, I need 5. Only need 5 on this one. So I'm going to finish this guy up. I like how the little bit of sparkle just changes the color just a bit. And then I used some of the brown to make a little line in this leaf. That's number 5. He's going to go right here. Now you want to felt down the spines. Let's get this all attached. By now you should start getting excited because we're getting close. Pretty cute so far, right? All right, so now the fun stuff. Now the fun stuff. All right, you have all these little locks. And you have extra green sparkles. And you have extra green. So, first thing I like to do is take a little bit of this green. And a little bit of this sparkly stuff. Kind of mix it together, but we're going to twist it. You know me and my twisting. Let's go around the door. So basically what we're doing is we're going to build some little vines here. And I love the sparkle around the base. Just a little bit. But more of the green. And you can see as I put this in, I'm not felting it in flat. I'm kind of bunching it up so that it looks like plants or a semblance of plants. This is the last step, and it makes your little fairy house come alive. So then decide where, oh, actually it's not the last step. Before we can finish our vines, let's back up. Well, I don't have to do this yet. We'll finish the vines first. So take little bits of your green sparkly, and maybe the vine is growing out of here, and just go up and around your windows. Hold on. That one needs to go over this way. It's a very small amount, just enough to give you some color. Just ivy going up the side of your little house. Ivy with sparklies. So on this one, I went all over the place and around the door. I am going to continue to go over the window. And this guy's branching out. This window needs a little bit more. We can actually go this way. Now, before we add our little flowers, take this pink, some of this pink that I have in here for you. So I was not totally attached along there. And this is going to fill in here. Pen tool. You know, you don't even need to add this color, but I like it. It's like the inside of the flower. Because I have not fully attached all my petals, I can go. You could actually put this color onto this before we put the petals on, if you want. But I like to wait and see where I'm at. But that wouldn't hurt. It would not hurt to cover that before you put your petals on. I just always do it last. This pink is a merino base, so it's going to take a little bit of felting to get it nice and smooth and get it adhered to our bird shaft. You know me and merino. I don't use it a lot, but some of the colors, sometimes I have a color that's kind of cool. So now you have all these little locks, and I am going to urge you to use scissors. So we're going to make roses out of these locks and just attach them to our vines. And maybe you have some pink and some purple, and we're going to add those to the flower boxes. Little locks that look like flowers. Let's add some more roses. I like to add lots of colors. Look, I even have these funky little green ones. Nah, I don't want to use that. We're going to use those in a different spot. And this little purple one can come over here. This purple guy can come here. Doesn't take a lot, just little bits. We're going to put some over the door. Just going for little bits of color. put them down in the grass. There's a little peach lock. We'll put this over here. Rip, what are you talking about down there? Rip is growling at something. So there we have all our little flowers on. Now, the last thing we're going to do is I want you to add, you have some little green and mossy colored locks in there. Some little green ones. Pull out the curly ones. That's a nice green one. And we're just going to add them up here. Some little tendrils. I take them in the middle of the locks, stab it in so that they hang down. And we can go all the way up here. Okay, so you've got your little tendrils on, you got your little flowers on, and your house is done. So, I promised you I would tell you what we're giving away this month. We're going to give away a little sheep. So, on the 31st or thereabouts, Cannon and I will announce on the Liongate Farm page, probably, and can we do it on the YouTube page? And the YouTube page, who our first winner is. So, keep entering the contest. And these kits will go live. They're going to be at our live sale today, but you won't see this video right away. So the kits will be available on the website very soon. And I can't wait to see everybody's fairy houses. Okay, addendum. You guys, there's some peach in your kit. And it's for, I forgot totally. You should just, it's me, I'm human. It goes in your little petals for an accent color. So just add it into your petals. You probably want to, I usually add it when I'm making them, but I was thinking I would show you when I did it and I forgot. So just use the peach that's in your kit to accent your petals just a little bit. And it'll just help them stand out. I was sitting here going, what did I forget? I always forget something. Okay. So that's all I want to tell you. See you guys next time. All right. I hope you had fun today making the fairy flower house. And the kits are on the website, so liongate.org and the farm store. Make sure you click like on this video if you made it, and follow us because it really helps us out. And then, told you we're going to give away a sheep this month. I'm giving away one of my signature little sheeps, and we will announce the winner right around May 31st, and then we'll start a new giveaway for June. See you next time.